to verify the performance stability of the Magnet course. Under high temperature conditions, Jimei would randomly select 3 samples for high temperature testing. At 10:33 a.m. on May 10, 2026, sample 1 was tested before demagnetization, and the measured holding force was 2,279 kilograms. At 10:39 a.m. on May 10, 2026, sample 2 was tested before demagnetization, and the measured holding force was 2,227 kilograms. At 10:45 a.m. on May 10, 2026, sample 2 was tested before demagnetization, and the measured holding force was 2,251 kilograms. The oven will be heated and stabilized at 70 C. After the temperature reaches a stable condition, the 3 magnet core samples will be placed into the oven for a 4-hour constant temperature demagnetization test. After the 4-hour test is completed, the samples will be removed from the oven and allowed to cool down naturally for at least 6 to 8 hours. Once the samples have returned to room temperature, the holding force would be tested again to evaluate the magnetic attenuation. At 9:51 a.m. on May 11, 2026, sample 1 was tested after the demagnetization test, and the measured holding force was 2,245 kilograms. Compare with the initial holding force before demagnetization, 2,279 kilograms. The holding force decreased by 34 kilograms, with a magnetic attenuation rate of approximately 1.49%. At 9:54 a.m. on May 11, 2026, sample 2 was tested after the demagnetization test, and the measured holding force was 2,209 kilograms. Compare with the initial holding force before demagnetization, 2,227 kilograms. The holding force decreased by 18 kilograms, with a magnetic attenuation rate of approximately 0.81%. At 9:58 a.m. on May 11, 2026, sample 3 was tested after the demagnetization test, and the measured holding force was 2,221 kilograms. Compare with the initial holding force before demagnetization, 2,251 kilograms. The holding force decreased by 30 kilograms, with a magnetic attenuation rate of approximately 1.33%. After a 4-hour constant temperature test at 70 degrees Celsius, the magnetic attune rates of the 3 Jimei magnet core samples were approximately 1.49%, 0.81%, and 1.33%. The test results show that Jimei magnet cores maintain stable holding force under high temperature conditions, with low magnetic attenuation and good performance stability. If you are looking for reliable precast concrete magnetic systems, please feel free to contact us.